I bring to you an OG, one of our OGs. And this individual, we have known her for quite some time. And we now can sit here and discuss things that are being added to her resume where she's going to be really busy. She's going to be really busy on the college football Saturdays, FOOTBALL, in addition to the football Thursday. And it's a homecoming for her. So we bring in one of our OGs, Marion Crowder. Look at you.
I mean, what a welcome into the show. I
I
couldn't
mean,
have written a better resume than that.
it's true. There's no shenanigan there.
I absolutely love being back here, my friend. How are you?
Trying to stay as busy as you.
Yeah. I think you actually got us because you're going to be in Sanford with us tomorrow, right?
Absolutely true.
There
We
you
got
go.
pregame show at 6. We're going to go from 6 to 6:50, and then we yield the floor to something called the SEC Network for James Madison in Georgia, and that's going to be fun. And I hope there's like 97 bazillion people there. I really
Me
do.
too. Oh my goodness, me too. I was actually at practice this morning at UGA's practice this morning, and they've already sold more than 30,000. Who knows how many of that will actually show up, but the numbers are looking really good.
So how was Kadani and everybody there getting ready for this one? Are they focused more on the game? Is it kind of hovering over them? Is it over the shoulder? What's the vibe?
Yeah, the general I was actually telling, so Joe Lloyd and Glenn Davis will actually be in the booth, as you well know. I'll be down there on the sideline. And so anytime that I'm a reporter, I kind of operate in a little bit of a different capacity than I do as an analyst. And so much of being a reporter is just kind of understanding the general, emotional intelligence behind what the occasion is, seeing kind of what the preparation looks like. And I actually was privy enough to sit in on film today, privy
Oh,
enough to watch practice today. And I will tell you that I know Kadani is very focused on the occasion, right? I asked him, I said, I'm going to ask you the same question tomorrow before we go on air to describe kind of what you're feeling right now. And I want to see if it changes from this 24-hour mark to the moments leading up to kickoff. And he told me that he just feels so much pride, right? He just feels so much pride in so many different aspects because of the way that this has come together, because of kind of the support he has had from current players, past players, the administration as a whole. So for him, I think there's a lot of focus on the occasion. But for the team, they were very diligent with their film. It was very James Madison focused. And I was actually chatting with Joe Lloyden this morning, and I told her, I said, man, this group just loves to win. They're playing a couple small-sided games to warm up. They did a little 11v0, and I have never seen a group of college soccer players just so excited to win every single activity. So for them, I feel like, because you also have to remember, they didn't have exhibition games. They actually, the University of Georgia, they had some scheduled, and then weather delays, some travel issues, some scheduling changes. So the opening weekend, which for them was last weekend on the road, it was a little tough. And Kadani felt like the exhibitions were actually played last weekend. And so I think for them, now that they've kind of started the season, this is not only a momentous occasion, but for them, they're like, we want to win. We just want to win. And that was kind of the vibe I got today at training.
all right. So if you and I were in the booth, I'm moving us upstairs.
Okay.
Not that I don't love Glenn, because Glenn is another OG of ours, and but we know that it's going to be Glenn and Jill and you downstairs. So if you and
Yeah.
I are upstairs, and I know that standard protocol is going to be title over wide, and here's who's playing, all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
2-shot in the booth. Then we go to players to watch. Then that's when you're either going to get the split screen or you're going to go from player one wipe to player two. We know that there's going to be those players that are going to be there. Give me a UGA player that will not be in that opening VO, in that opening highlight package, that you think will be just as important as the player to watch that will be discussed upstairs if you and I were doing it.
Yeah, so I think for Georgia, and they've already struggled with a couple of early injuries, but I think for them the depth up top is going to be of a lot of importance, because I think that the way that they're going to try and press really not only tomorrow, but throughout the season is going to have a lot of fatigue involved in it. And with that, you're going to need some depth in the 90 minutes. So Maya Wolf, for me, is a player who can play a little bit of everything. I think that she looked really, really good, gave them a boost in the moments that they needed to have this weekend. And here's what he said, John. Here's what he said. And I don't think he would mind me sharing this.
No.
He told them at the end of film, he said, I want you to realize that when we're at home and we don't have to pick who's traveling, we don't have to pick who's coming on the road, every single player is available. So know your roles, know your responsibilities, and know that if and when your number gets called, we expect the same standard of you. Every player is available. So it wouldn't surprise me if Kadani, again, given some of the early injuries, shuffles the team around a bit and see which of these young players, because he's got a ton of young talent, see which of the young talent actually doesn't look like a deer in the headlights, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. And, for those that may not know the history here, you have a bit of an attachment to said program
Yes, I do.
because you have worn the jersey. You know what it means to be a Georgia Bulldog. What is it like for you to be back and to see what's going on, considering that in 3 of the 4 years that you were in a UGA uniform, you led the team in points, 2013, 2015, and 2016. And look, you had you led them in game winner categories. You lead shots in 2016. I get the giggling here, and I say this because you know what it means on one level.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of getting to look in the looking glass here a little bit because of all the time that you've spent in and around this program. What has it been like for you to be locked in, but at the same time see where the sport is now from a place where you played?
That's a great question. And I feel like I echo exactly what Kadani feels. Now we feel it in 2 different varieties. He feels pride for a lot of what he's been able to accomplish and a vision that he has been able to see come to life now. I feel pride in the sense that I have seen a drastic change in the program, a program that, as you said, has meant so much to me. And I think you have to understand, which you will get, but for our listeners, you have to understand how much talent is in and around the state of Georgia. You have to understand the big things that are coming to the state of Georgia. An NWSL team is coming in just a few years. U.S. Soccer is moving and making Georgia, their headquarters. And so when you think about all these things that are happening outside of the program itself, it really helps paint the picture of just how much quality and just how much importance and value that there's placed on this sport in that state. Then when I pair it with kind of as you introduced me to, when I pair it as the opportunities that just going to that university has afforded me and the pathway that it has paved for me to get to where I'm at right now, I cannot help but feel, and for a few years I felt like this, really since I graduated. I could not help but feel a sense of frustration, right? That the program that should be, could be, eventually will be one of the best in the country. Places where you have, as a player, you have these opportunities that not many people can talk about. And you have the support of an entire athletic department behind you. And for a long time, I'm not sure that I felt like that about the University of Georgia soccer program specifically. There have always been great people in that program, but now the willingness to spend the money, first and foremost, to hire Kadani.
Mm-hmm.
Now the willingness to support his vision and trust that he's done this a time or two. He knows what it takes to win a national championship. And he also understands how to piggyback off of the larger soccer events in our country. And the fact that they have just said, you got an idea? You bring us that idea, we'll help you make it happen, and we won't stand in your way. There's an immense amount of pride for me. And then when I was watching training today, just seeing the talent they are good. I know they're young, but man, they are good. And if you look at the young players that he brought in, it's, I mean, all kinds of players from all kinds of different youth national teams. And so now finally you've got this hierarchy of support from the administration. You've got the talent that now matches it. And now it's just about finding a way to actually get the results that kind of mesh those two things together. So for me, I feel like the best word is pride. It's a very different pride than Kadani feels, but I finally feel like this program is on the trajectory that it always should have been.
By the way, for those that may not know, fourth in career points with 65. Third in career goals with 29.
I need somebody to break that. I feel like I've been third in career goals for a long time, and I feel like we need to somebody to shoot on up there.
Well, Summer Denigan had 22 and 25.
Yeah.
So she's so you got that number behind you. And let's see, third in game winners in a career at 13. And like I said, I'm just sitting here staring at a bunch of numbers. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help out and where you're not in the top 10 assists. Come on now, what happened?
I know. You know what? When I was so I went through a coaching change. A lot of people won't know this too. So I went through a coaching change my junior year. So I had a different coach freshman, sophomore year, different coaching staff junior, senior. And when we transitioned into a second coaching staff, we just struggled in general to find an identity. We were playing all kinds of different formations, and people often ask me, I never knew that this was a question I would start to get as I got like a little higher in the ESPN ranks.
Yeah.
But the question that everybody asked me is, well, what position did you play? And I didn't realize how important of a question that was going to be. I just kind of answer like, well, honestly, we struggled to win some, so I just kind of roamed around and just tried to find any kind of space I could. So yeah, that's probably why the assist one is way down there. I was probably just trying to get behind the back line.
But formations are a loose construct anyway. It's not something.
Now they are for sure.
It's like no. So, and by the way, you're only 7th in shots. What happened there?
Yeah, but shots on target are the ones that's most important, right? Right?
True. The other half of this equation is someone who also gets it in James Madison. And
oh yeah.
When you've been studying the Dukes, what has come to mind in this? We're catching up with them tomorrow morning, by the way, bet and lead up. When you've gone to study hall with James Madison, what sticks?
Yeah, I feel like for them, they know who they are first and foremost. And I feel like in a mid-major, having a very clear identity helps you in two ways. It obviously helps you win some of these bigger top 25 matchups because that is of massive importance for getting them into the NCAA tournament as one of those at-large bids. But it also helps from a recruiting standpoint because now with the transfer portal, no school is off limits, right? So you have kind of two facets. You have players who start out at a smaller school, they go into a bigger school, and then maybe they come back because they feel like the bigger school isn't for them. Or you have the kids who start out as a hot recruit. They don't get a lot of playing time. They don't really want to sit the bench. And then they want to go look for a quality program that's a little bit smaller. JMU fits a lot of the criteria for players on both sides. And so for them having a clear identity really helps, in my opinion, the recruiting process. It helps the transfer portal process. And they're ambitious. I mean, they really want to play with the ball. They want to have the ball at their feet. They have clear movement patterns for the way that they want to break teams down, but they're also quite ambitious going forward. And I think that's what makes tomorrow's game so exciting is how many numbers JMU typically pushes forward versus how susceptible that leaves them behind the ball. And Georgia is a team that's got a lot of kids with a lot of pace up front. So I think it'll be a little bit of a cat and mouse game between those two head coaches who know each other quite well. I know you and I have talked about this. Josh and Kadani go way back. They have sold out many stadiums in their time in the West Coast, but Josh actually has plenty of Southeastern soccer connections. His wife, in fact, played at Ole Miss back in the day. So he couldn't. He told us that when Kadani came to him with this idea, he couldn't have been more ecstatic, and he couldn't have. He almost felt like it was fate, right? Because they'd done it so much on the West Coast that it just made sense for it to be those two doing it now on the South. So I was just really impressed hearing everything about their program and hearing just the clear-cut ambitions, the clear-cut goals, and the clear-cut identity that he set out for this program.
As you and I are talking on August 19th, how many separate calendars do you have?
I am trying actually to merge. I'm trying to merge everything into one, and I cannot figure out the best way to do it. I'm like, should I just put all the calendars on my phone? Like, should I just go only on like my ESPN, email? But then like the NWSL stuff won't come there. So I'm just, John, I'm trying to figure it out.
I have 4 separate calendars, and the one that works the best for me. Remember when we were growing up, when you go into a bank and
Yeah.
you talk to the dude behind the desk, and he's got the glass top, but he's got the big honking calendar. That
Yes.
that's the one that works the best for me.
Okay, so a physical one. You keep a physical calendar.
Yes, I do. Here, so hang on just a second. Let me
I was
show
supposed
it.
to say, where is this?
This physical calendar is right here. I will show it to you because I have the
I'm
Gmail. I
like,
have
what is this ancient artifact?
right here. This is August, by the way.
Oh my gosh, friend.
That is August. You should have seen it when it was the World Cup, June and July.
Now, does
So,
that travel with you? What happens when you're on the
no,
road?
no. When I'm on the road, I either have it written on legal pad
Okay.
or I have the old school
Oh, another.
binder notebook. That's how
Have you watched the show Silo on Apple TV?
I have not.
Okay, well, it's basically about it's like an apocalyptic, end of the world. They're all living in these
Oh,
underground silos. I'm not
that's
going to
optimistic.
spoil it for you,
That's
but
optimistic.
more or less, they call like old Pez dispensers, like stuff like that, artifacts. And so I literally feel like seeing a written calendar. It's like an ancient little artifact.
Well, you are talking to an ancient host, so I mean,
No, 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 no,
uh,
no, no.
so the
I
reason
want to know what you think though, John, because you've
what?
been around this a long, long time. Like, I feel like it's hard sometimes for current players to wrap their heads around the fact that they're playing in a football stadium tomorrow at the
Absolutely,
college level.
I know, and I wonder about the craning of the neck. I wonder about
Yeah,
this moment, and I wonder, is James Madison going to be caught in this moment here, where they're looking at what's going on, and the entire lower bowl may be full of people
yeah.
screaming at them? Does Georgia get locked into this moment where you're sitting there and going, "Man, we got a lot of folks in here today," and does that fuel you, or is that a distraction? And which
Good point.
you
Good
know
point.
and which one acts in which way, and which one takes advantage if someone is stuck and their neck is all north south for a couple of minutes.
Well,
That's
Kadani mentioned that to me this morning. He was talking about the fact that he wants, and we mentioned, which of these players that aren't starting are end up going to be the biggest impact. And I think that that's what he's also trying to figure out. When I put you as a young player in these big pressure moments,
yeah.
what is your response? And the only way I'm going to really figure that out is to give you a chance. Um, so I think that's a really good point and something that both head coaches have kind of touched on with us in separate conversations.
Okay, so the reason I brought up the calendar is because you're going to be busy
Okay.
with the FUTBOL, and you're going to be locked in on that. You're going to be locked
Yeah.
in on the college football part of things. Your duties with the Southeastern Conference are going to be expanded on your Saturdays, so those are going to
Yeah.
be busy. You needs a private jet. So
I need to call Kirk.
yeah,
Kirk.
yeah. If you can get a PJ out of this deal, you really defend your NWSL duties where you're out so seriously, and that's why I asked, because between now and probably the national championship in mid-January,
Yeah.
are you going to be able to come up for air, and do you have
Mm-mm.
your entire schedule mapped out to where you've got to be, and you pray that there aren't any problems in airports with weather and things like that in the Southeast? You're working in the conference that has the worst weather in the summer known to
Worst.
mankind.
Oh my gosh. Um,
Have,
you know what the interesting part about SEC Nation, that also makes it, just you just kind of have to sit back and let it happen, is the fact that we won't know where we're going until the week of, maybe the week before. In fact, our week one, and I can't, say it, we just got what the week one was going to look like.
Right.
That changed 3 times in a matter of 2 weeks.
Uh,
And so like it's hard, right? Because you're the talent, you're like, okay, I'm gonna try and plan everything out. Like I'm gonna try, especially when you've got like college soccer on Thursday and
yeah.
potentially something on Sunday.
Hmm.
You're trying to figure out, all right, well, does it make sense to just fly from one place to the other? Should I pack for like a week-long road trip, or
Yeah.
am I going to get to come home,
No.
throw a second suitcase down, pick the other one up? What are we going to do? And now I've just accepted the fact, seeing how, week one has already operated. I'm just like, I'm not going to know a thing. And I'm just going to have to get on board with that. I think there's going to be a lot of working in planes.
Hmm.
I think there's going to be a whole lot of like, paying for the Wi-Fi, hopefully expensing that from a tax perspective. But, at least it's peaceful, I guess, right?
It's peaceful, and then you have someone yelling in your ear, and you got to cut your head in half. Oh, by the way, have they sanctioned for you the double IFB,
Yeah.
or okay? Because I got it. I was going to ask about that, because in those loud environments, you've got to have the double IFB. You can't just have the one.
So I got to give credit where credit's due here. Devin Kerr.
Yeah.
Our good friend Devin.
Hmm.
Our good friend Devin, this was probably 2 years ago, at a USL championship final. And one of the best crews, ever. Me, Mike Watts, Devin Kerr calling, with some of the best, just like coaching. I love that league, everything about that league. And we're sitting there, and I am like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot. I had like just some, a 1 year, very, very cheap, like from Walmart type of thing. And I was like, oh no, like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hear tomorrow. They were talking about the speakers are gonna be right near my little booth and my monitor. And he was like, look, try these out. I don't like them. They don't fit my ear. He like did the mold that they gave him was incorrect or something like
Oh,
that. He was like, they don't fit my ear, and I actually have like I'm getting one delivered to me here at the stadium tomorrow.
nice.
So I open them up, and they were the double. And I have used his ever since, until I'll get my own from ESPN finally. But those things are game changing, and his don't even really fit me.
Mhm.
They are just, I can't even imagine doing like a single in a football stadium. That'd be crazy.
Yes. So when I see you tomorrow, I need to know who your double manufacturer is.
Okay. I'll take a picture. I just sent it out like 2 days ago.
Okay. So we'll do that. All right. So I'm gonna. What do you have the rest of the day? You gonna go get lunch now?
Oh, so for those who don't know, so my husband also went to the University of Georgia.
Yeah.
So he went, when I was at practice this morning, he went and toured their new, baseball facility, spent some time, piddling around on his own. We've got a 12-year-old German Shepherd back at home. So I'm gonna go, prep with the German Shepherd. He's gonna go do his thing. He's gonna play some golf later. What a
What?
time. I
I mean,
know,
the
I
German
know.
Shepherd.
So
What's the German Shepherd's handicap?
good question. Nothing. He honestly hates. You would think the German Shepherds love, like he loves to fetch, just like normal fetch. But
Mhm.
you pull out a golf club and he loses his mind. It's like he has seen, like the most villainous creature of all time. I'm just like, I don't. So we have to keep the golf clubs, in the garage. We cannot have them out back. He will lose it. It will be ugly for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. So lots of prep. Lots of prep. That's what we spend our time doing.
Okay. So yeah, Madison Cruz and I will be on campus tomorrow. Pregame show
Can't
for
wait
us
to
at
see you.
6, and yeah, so we'll be there earlier than that, obviously. And it'll be great to see you, and great to see Glenn, and great to see Jill and everybody. I cannot thank you enough for doing this.
Of course.
It's been entirely too long, and you realize, of course, that you now have the open door policy when you can show up whenever you're bored. You know how to come in now. And it's like, I'm studying, I'm hitting a wall, I'm just going to go vent, and you can dial in, because Fridays are usually wide open in the 10 o'clock hour anyway.
There you go. I feel
Uh,
like that's the key. The vent. I feel like I'm gonna have so many travel venting woes to tell everybody about. And I feel like one thing, John, that you and I should be on board with.
sure.
We've got to make better travel etiquette from everybody. Okay. We've got to teach people how to be on airplanes, how to be in airports, right? There is a right and wrong way to travel. And I feel like we just need to just let the masses know. Okay.
Keep your shoes on the plane.
Yes.
Keep your shoes on the plane and tuck in your knees. And if you've got to go straight leg and go under the seat to make sure that everything's fine. Those are the two biggest for me. When someone's got when their knees are like right there against the seat, and then the dude that thinks that he's either, back in the 1980s and he's kicked back and he's watching whatever and he's got the big sweat socks going, or he had the loafers on and he
and now they're off.
To ditch the loafers on the plane, and you're like, bruh.
Agreed.
What are you doing?
And it's like it kind of touches my armpit, or I'm like my elbow as I'm like using the armrest, and I'm like, oh, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yes, that one, and then my biggest one, and then we'll get into more of these as the year goes on. My
Sure.
biggest one. I need everybody to know, you can pick your seat beforehand. Okay? Don't come up here to me when I've picked my aisle seat or when I picked my window seat and tell me that this is your brother or your daughter. Can you switch to no. How long have you had these tickets? You can pick, Susan. You can pick. That's it.
I mean,
that's all.
This is for this week.
For this week. There's plenty more.
Yeah. So we've got it started, and it is Marion's travel etiquette. It is the MTE segment. That is, and so we'll try and find a sponsor for it. If you can find a sponsor for it, that would be great. If it's NetJets, and that way you end up leaving all that stuff behind and you go to a PJ, fantastic. Just enjoy the rest of your day. It's good to see you. It'll be good to see you in person tomorrow. We'll vent and we'll have all the things going on. It's great to see you, and I'm absolutely over the moon for everything that has been happening for you, and especially with the recent announcement involving Saturdays here. So yeah, you know that I'm not metered. I can't be because I'm a professional in the industry. So, but we'll be watching. It'll be great to see you tomorrow, my friend. It's fantastic to catch up with you.
You are the absolute best. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
There we go, Marion Crowder.
Bye.
She's going to go and have like 5 minutes to herself.